Okay, so I think we are almost ready here. So, Vanny, whenever you're ready, take it away with Gargoyle's Quest 2.
Well, thank you very much. I will do exactly that. Hello, everyone. My name is Bonnie, and today I will be running Gargoyle's Quest 2 for the NES. For those not familiar, this is a sequel to the Game Boy game, which was actually another one that I run as well, and is very similar to this, but this is the first entry onto the NES. And I will go ahead and get started if you all are ready. And we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, now. So it's going to start out with our hero. He's this little red gargoyle named Firebrand. And he's talking to this king. We talk to a lot of kings throughout this entire game, but this particular king says, if you feel like you are a true warrior, then I want you to head over to the training ground and prove yourself. And that's what we're going to do here. Really, all we need to do to prove ourselves is to grab a vial. The vial doesn't really do anything. Vials are actually like the in-game currency, but we don't really we don't buy anything in this run. But what we do in this game is gargoyle parkour, where we can grab onto walls and jump off of them. We can also float with this interesting wing mechanic that you see that bar that was scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That's my wing power, how long I can float horizontally. So we've grabbed the vial, and this monster says, hey, while you were in there doing training, things went bad, and we need you to go figure out what's going on. And so we head into our first section of the game here. Our first actual, platforming section. We've got a couple of particular enemies to deal with here. One of these floating eyeballs that you see, but the worst ones are these brown kind of like ghoul cloth enemies. They cause a ton of lag, and we want to get them off the screen as quickly as possible. Fortunately, we only have to deal with them in this level and just one more little kind of like battle coming up, and then that's it. Okay, I got a fast pattern there. Got to deal with a few more of these guys here. Get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of that guy on the way up, you on the way down, you on the way up. Perfect. All right, now we're going to do a fun little trick here with our iframes. We're going to go bump, 1, 2, 3. We're going to climb up the spikes, and then land on, whoops, oh shoot, I did not mean to do that. Where we're going to land on the corner of the spikes and not actually take any damage, which is a neat little trick to get across there. You don't have to go all the way through the bottom and back up. Saves about 15 seconds. All right, so now we have Nagus, our first boss here. We want him to be nice. He is not being nice. And I only have 1 health, which means I have no room for error here as far as getting hit. And that's what we want to see. We call that the basketball because it's this orange and blue round object that kind of bounces along and is very, very easy to avoid. All right, so we've destroyed Nagus, and the king here tells us, listen, Firebrand, I'm about to die, but before I go, let me give you some extra power and also let you know that there is a mysterious evil darkness that has swept over the monster's land and threatens all of our livelihood. I need you to figure out what the source of this darkness is, and thus begins this gargoyle's quest to figure it out. So here we are in the overworld. We're going to get into this encounter here. This is where these 3 enemies can really be annoying. So they pop up when you get near them, but exactly how near you have to get to them each time is random. So they can basically just sit there and do nothing while you're like standing on spikes and just hoping that you don't die. But they were pretty cooperative there. So throughout the game, we're going to be getting all kinds of power-ups as far as being able to jump higher, being able to float longer, and then we're going to get magic power-ups, and those magics are going to affect what it is that Firebrand spits out when he does his attack. A little more fancy dancing here with some iframes. We're going to do this a lot throughout the run. Take boosts and use our iframes and whatnot to maneuver through certain areas a lot more quickly. So I'm making a little pit stop into this town here, and I'm going to talk to this guy real quick. and he's going to give me a password. Now, the purpose of actually talking to him is that basically sets that as a checkpoint. We are going to do 2 intentional game overs during the course of this run, and we do that in order to save time backtracking after we complete certain objectives. So, there we go. Yes, the Gargoyle strut is very much a thing. Kind of has like that Vince McMahon strut confidence to him.
Very powerful walk.
Very, very powerful indeed. Alrighty. So this section here is just a little platforming section where we can stand on these guys. Now normally this section is fine and there's no incident. However, sometimes the game kind of bugs out when it comes to the detection of the hit boxes for those platforms, and you actually can take damage when you land on them for some reason. I don't know why, but it happens. Alright, so coming up next is my least favorite section of the game, probably. This is the jungle. The jungle is awful. It's very trolly, and in the very beginning, here, let's see. So I've got to jump up here, barely touch him, float all the way across, hopefully land on him, come all the way up, and have just enough wing to grab that wall. Oh, that was close. Okay. All right, we're going to try a trick here that I like to call the jungle gym, where we're going to take some damage here, scale the face of that platform, and avoid having to go behind it and jump up to it from the right. That probably saves us about 7 or 8 seconds, so we always like nailing that trick. Kill these guys for lag reduction. These beetles are the truly awful, well, one of the many truly awful parts of this level. They can just appear out of thin air randomly, and they're just very awful. Alright, so coming up, we actually do 2 intentional deaths in this stage alone. Use our iframes to climb up those walls faster. An intentional death is coming up right here, right there. So this accomplishes 2 things. First of all, I'm going to respawn up on the platform above it, and it also refills my health, and I'm going to be taking plenty of boosts in through here. Now, this next part that I'm going to do is very sensitive, where I have to be flying at just the right height. Oh, shoot, I didn't do it right. Well, I'll demonstrate what I should have done here, where I'm going to fly over this platform, land on it blindly, but just touch the very corner of it, such that it refills my wing power, and I don't take damage from that. I don't take damage from the enemy that's on it. We're going to take 1 more intentional death right here, and then we will fight Death Balloon. And with full health, hopefully, we could basically just kill it in 1 cycle. Oh god, no, we didn't do it. He totally charged at me, and that is an unintentional game over. I meant to kill the boss first, but I did not get to do that. That is very unfortunate, but something that can happen here. So now we got to do the jungle all over again, which is not what I intended. This is why we have a longer estimate. Okay.
Is it okay if I read a donation now?
Yeah, now would be a good time for donations, because we're basically redoing this whole section again. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I've got 2 big ones that have come in. From the previous runner, Hiponwana, who did Below the Ocean, I have a $100 donation from him. With the comment, $5 for each death in Below the Ocean, and an extra $20 because Trans Lifeline is so important right now, and $50 goes towards Glenn to be named Iro. So that's one of the incentives coming up. There is a bid war for Chrono Cross to name some of the characters, and for Glenn we have now got $100 for Iro. We also have a $50 donation from Lil Melly Mooncat saying, "Good luck, Vanny. Wishing a clean jungle, and may the bees be kind. As always, trans rights." Well,
the jungle itself actually wasn't too bad. It was just the boss did not cooperate. And that's partly my fault, but that's okay. But we get to hopefully have... I mean, this jungle's going good so far. So maybe we have a clean...
Got the power of chat behind you. I can see in the chat, they really urging you to do well. We've all got your back.
I appreciate that, yeah. This level is notorious for, in PP attempts, this level is very often a reset point. Because there's so much that can go wrong in this level. That resetting here is rather common. Okay, now let's... Oh, you know what? That's right. I messed up this section here before. Let's see if I can demonstrate what should happen here. Just like that. Okay, I need to jump high enough to get over that spike, but low enough that I don't get hit by the thing above me. Okay, and now I just spawned him, and I didn't mean to do that. But it's okay. Yeah, you do just the very, just like the nail of his foot touches that platform. Oh, I did not mean to boost that way. Whatever. Well, we've wasted enough time as it is. What's a little more, right? Okay. Let's do this right this time, shall we? Okay, that's a much better start. That's a perfect kill. Okay. Would have liked to have gotten that the first time, but such is life. Okay. So now we're done with the jungle. We have now obtained a new magic called the Buster. The Buster is something we're going to be using extensively through the game. It is a stronger form of the magic that we're spitting out now. You can have two of them on the screen at the same time, and they break certain blocks, which is going to be very useful for a couple of sections here. But we get a little bit of a lore dump here, where we come and we talk to this mystic, and she wants us to put the candle that we have obtained onto this kind of like altar, and then secrets are revealed. And what those secrets are is that the only entity that can really stop this darkness from happening is a legend, and that legend is called the Red Blaze. And our buddy Firebrand here, or Red Armor, if you can read that kata, is being told that legendary Red Blaze is you, and you now need to go and prove yourself. Well, we get to start proving ourselves by doing a little something we like to call the jump. You'll see what I mean here. We've got this long fire pit, and we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4 stutters, come up, boost, and perfect. And that's how you get over that long stretch of fire. That fire is instant death. There are certain, kind of like ground damage platforms or pits or whatnot, where if you touch them, they'll only do, 1 damage. Whereas this is going to do instant damage. So that's the Buster that I just threw out. You see I can have 2 of them on the screen at the same time, which is nice. And we're going to need them for the next area here, which is the Sand Palace. The Sand Palace is actually, this is my favorite level to do. There's some really fun tech in here. Let's see if I can get this tech here where I grab onto the wall in just the right place. Perfect. Timing that is not easy because you're falling at full momentum, and it's tough to really gauge the timing of where you need to be there. Okay, good. I didn't get trolled by any fishies. There are other opportunities. We want to avoid those. Let's see if we get trolled by the fishy here. We do not. We get back fishy. We like back fishy. Back fishy is no threat. Right. We're gonna pop up and boost through that guy. See, this is the Buster breaking the blocks. We get the genie. That's unlucky. All right, now we fight Sandfrog. Sandfrog sucks. Especially if he does... Oh no, if he jumps, we like Sandfrog. Now when he does this, when he sends out those spawns, they're awful because A, they cause a bunch of lag, Good. Okay. And also, when they attach to you, they severely hamper your jumping power. And you kind of have to just wiggle around to shake them off. It's just very irritating. All right, so we have obtained the gremlin stick from the Sand Palace. And now that we've done that, we embrace Sweet Death, and we do our intentional game over. Go back to this checkpoint. And the reason why we do that is because we need to use that gremlin stick that we've just obtained on the king in here. And we do it like that. And now the king is awakened. And this king is going to give us another magic, and this magic is called Tornado. And I will be demonstrating what Tornado does in just a minute here. Tornado is very, very useful, especially for the speedrun. So that is good. So we gotta leave. Here we go. Go to the left now. All the way around these mountains.
Is this a good time for me to make some announcements?
Yeah, let me just show off what the Tornado does, and then you'll definitely have an opportunity.
Okay.
And that's going to be coming up in just a second here. So we're going to switch to the Tornado magic, and the Tornado magic creates these little platforms that we can jump off of, and it makes vertical ascents very easy. So, yeah. If you want to read off some stuff, now is a good time. We have a boss fight coming up soon, but you got a few seconds.
Okay. So, we've just opened new incentives for the following games: Aperture Tag, Dora the Explorer, Devil May Cry, and Origami. So, we have 4 new incentives which have opened, and so they are available to put your donations towards. I also have 2 donations. I've got one from Anonymous for $10. I'm hyped for the Kingdom Hearts 2 rando run later on. Hope everyone feels good so far and enjoyed the stream. Heart.
Hold on. So this is Malgor. So we manipulate his movement in such a way. Oh my god. Don't hit. Oh my god, he killed me. Damn it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, Malgor was not nice today. And we've already taken a death. That's bad. Okay. We will figure this out, I guess. So, one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop on over here and talk to this guy. He says, hey, have you heard about the cool thing I've been working on? And if you say no, he's like, well, let me show you. And what he does for you is he gives you an extra segment of life, which is going to be really useful for this next section coming up here, because we have a very trolly boss at the end of the mountain pass here. But 12, go ahead if you have more donations or anything like that. Now's a decent time.
Yep, I've got a $10 donation from Drake Lake, just saying heart with a smile face.
Thank you, Drake. Wow, this is... I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Okay, I don't know why I just fumbled with that so hard. That was really, really strange. But that's okay. We can move on. Take that damage boost to get through here. Now, here's the power of the tornado. Look at this. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, and just climb up that vertical section with the greatest of ease. Gonna refill a heart here. Hopefully I get a... I didn't... Oh my god, I didn't mean to float. Okay, now I could be in serious trouble. I'm going to have to fight this boss incredibly carefully, which is a lot easier said than done. This is arguably the trolliest boss in the entire game. And, yeah, with... Oh, jeez, okay. Yep, gotta take this carefully. Okay, good. This is what we want to see. Yes! Oh, thank goodness. Okay, that fight went incredibly well. I cannot understate how well that went, especially considering that I had contact with them does 2 damage, so that would have that would have killed me on contact. And also, normally I would have a spare life to give there, but because I died to Malgor, I didn't have that. So that was dancing on the razor's edge, but we managed to do it without getting cut, which is very nice, considering we've already had one unintentional game over, and we need to save one of those lives to set up a death warp, or to an intentional death to make things a little easier here. All right, speaking of easy, we're just going to go like this, get him here, hold on to this, and then he's just going to keep throwing that blade right over our head, and we can just wail on his face, and he's dead. So that's good. Alrighty. This is kind of just a transitory stage here, and then we get into what's called the Mirror Maze, which is not a lot of fun. But if you have any donations or would like to shout out things for which people can donate, now is a decent time for that.
Okay, let's see if we've got more to come in. Okay, I have nothing more to read right now, so instead I will quickly remind you about the shirts. We're excited to offer 3 brand new marathon shirts exclusive to this event, with unisex and women's options designed by our artist in the Fastest First community. You can use the command !merch in the chat for a link to our merch store where you can check out original designs from Arakun14, Heki, and Flux. Shirts are $20, and all proceeds from the merch sales will be donated to Trans Lifeline. The marathon shirts will only be available to the end of the event, so you don't want to miss out on your chance to pick one up today.
Alright, so that last room that I just went through, where I dropped that tornado halfway through and then kind of just weaved my way up into there, the window to do that is rather tight, and I'm glad that, considering how goofy some other things have gone in this run so far, that I actually got that, because that is a place where I commonly just die despite my best efforts. So the fact that I did not do so is heartwarming. Okay, so the next room that I'm going to get to, we call the gate room. I'm going to try to do some very particular damage boosting here to get through here quickly. Okay, that works, I guess. Yes. Ah, perfect. Okay, great. That gate room went pretty dang well. Gonna take an intentional damage here to set up a death on this. So this is Doppelganger. This boss could be a little trolly too. But we have a nice little setup to do a bunch of damage to it in the beginning, such that the fight gets shortened. Okay. Boost off the top. Nope. Okay. So when the doppelganger becomes that pink version of you, if you attack that pink gargoyle, you take damage, not the gargoyle, not the enemy. So now when it does the swoop, it sits there for a few seconds, and it can either turn into the gargoyle or it can swoop again. And I try to land and then jump again at the right time, so that if it does swoop, it swoops under me, and then I can just turn around and keep attacking it. But if it turns into the gargoyle, I just have to wait. Otherwise, you know, I'm literally doing nothing but taking damage. But we got through the fight just fine. Pretty elementary from here. King's giving us more lore, giving us more powers and whatnot. We have to do a transitory stage to grab a couple more items. I'm going to talk to this guy first, set my checkpoint here now, because after I talk to the king and queen in the next village, I'm going to want to do an intentional game over again, so that I don't have to come all the way back through here. Ah, really? I wasn't high enough? There we go. That's what we wanted. Right. And we use these tornadoes to make a vertical ascent very, very easy. And then we come on into here. Like I said, we talked to a bunch of kings throughout the game, but this here is the only queen that we talked to in the speedrun. So shoutouts to the queen.
All hail, all hail.
All hail, indeed. You know, somebody had mentioned that we are very close to the $7,500 milestone, 3/4 of the way to 10,000. I wonder if we can get there before the end of this run, because we're going to have a couple seconds where we can do some donation reading. So I know we've got incentives that just opened up. People, check them out. Get some donations in here, and let's get to the 7,500 mark before we get to. I know there's a setup block next, so it'd be nice to have that in the books before they do that. So get your money on in. All money is going towards Trans Lifeline, an incredibly worthy cause. So let's do it. All right, so we're just going to float down here, move to the left a little bit, and splat. Another intentional game over. Got to come back here to this king, who is very proud of us for collecting the things that we needed to in order to assemble the Candle of Darkness, which is going to allow us to remove the obstruction heading toward Goza's palace. And we will do it just like that. You see the obstruction does the double dragon death and goes away. Alright. So we've also obtained a new magic. This magic is called the Claw. What the Claw will do is when, and that's the claw right there, that kind of blue and black orb. When the Claw hits a vertical spike wall, it will create kind of like this little sticky it sticks to the spike wall and allows you to grab that sticky part and bounce off of it without taking damage, which is nice. And I will demonstrate that right here. Gonna stick to the wall and we're just gonna grab it and bounce off of it. Now I have to be careful with that ghost enemy that's chasing me. So he's holding a lantern. If I kill that ghost enemy and the lantern along with him, everything on the screen goes black, and that's not a whole lot of fun to deal with. More damage boost shenanigans here, where we're just going to go boop, and then climb up this, do another boop, climb up here, and that makes that section a lot faster. Okay, now, this boss that I'm about to fight, there is a lot of very intense flashing during the boss fight itself, so it's starting right about now. Now, fortunately, that boss is incredibly consistent. There's really no RNG there. We just get up to the top of that platform. When he throws out that kind of like little red ball thing, we jump forward to bounce off of it, such that it will allow us to stay on that top platform, and we can continue to deal damage to it. All right, so Goza is very impressed by the fact that we were able to defeat him. He is going to give us all of the power that we need to confront the evil Breaker, who is the source of all of this evil darkness that has swept over the land. And as I'm sure you can imagine, Breaker is the final boss. Whatever jam emotes, bop emotes, whatever you have, get them out in chat, because the music here in Breaker's Fortress is pretty good. We also have the highest wing power possible, which, as you can see, my bar on the bottom is no longer depleting. I can essentially float infinitely. Let's see if I can get by these spikes here. Nope. That was lazy. Bopped my head. Right. We're gonna get a vial up here, which is not only going to give us an extra segment of life, but it's going to refill our life as well. This next section up here, this ascent, is not fun. Good. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that did not... Okay, now this, what I'm going to do here, this trick is pretty cool, but it's also very precise. We're going to boost. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to boost that way, kill him, boost off of that, and then walk up here across those spikes so that we don't have to go all the way to the other side of the room in order to... Oh, oops. Gotta wait for those to disappear. Alright. So, boss battle with Brager here. A lot of intense flashing during this boss fight as well. I'm going to take an intentional death here real quick just to refill my health so I can set up this boss fight properly. I'm going to cling onto this, take a hit, jump up and over his stuff, and then just wail on his face. There we go. That's it. 20 hits to the forehead, and he's done. Alrighty. So he's got to talk a bunch of mess on the way out. Whatever. Alrighty. So now I come back here and we talk to this king, and he says, "Hey, Firebrand, you're the Red Blaze. Congratulations on saving the world. By the way, there's this place we've discovered called Earth. If you want to go up there and take it over and use it as your kingdom, it is all yours." And that is time.
GG.
Thank you. Well, we had the unintentional game over at the end of the jungle, but other than that, that run went fine. So there you go. So the land has been saved. The evil darkness is gone. The monster world is all good again, and yeah. So there you go. So that is Gargoyle's Quest 2 for the NES. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this game, or my commentary, or what I was doing here, please do give me a follow on my channel. I do games like this all the time. I am a retro speedrunner by trade, so hope you enjoyed what you were doing up here. I know we've got a setup block coming up next, so but after that, I think don't we have a race coming up? Is that what I understand?
So we have someone playing Sega Rally Championship and Sega Rally 2, and then after that there is another racing block, and then after that we're going to the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, which will be a race following after the racing block.
Very good. Well, if you like racy stuff, then by all means stay tuned, and please continue to help these fine folks raise money for Trans Lifeline. So that's all I've got. I'll go ahead and sign off here. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I'll see all of you around soon. Until I do, take care, everyone.